Good morning, we are live. So welcome to your morning yoga session. This morning we're going to do a really nice, simple flow. So nothing taxing, nothing strenuous, just really gently waking your body up, setting you for the day ahead, getting you ready, hopefully getting rid of any tensions or tightnesses that you've got in the body. So you might find that if you're spending more time sitting down, if you're spending more time maybe in points of anxiety or stress at the moment especially, that you're noticing tension in different places. So we carry tension in different parts of the body, often in the head and the neck, often in the jaw. We can find that clamps up, tightens up. We find that we're holding our shoulders a bit crunched up. Also as well, tension tends to hold within the hips. So we're just going to go through a nice gentle flow this morning just to try and relieve some of that tension and leave the body feeling a little bit better. So again, you don't need anything special. If you do have tight hips or problems with the hips, then sometimes it can be nice to sit on a cushion just to start, or it can be nice just to sit in this position as well. So if there's any problems with the knees, then sometimes it's nice just to take the knees to one side instead of crossing the legs. But again, just listening to your body, just working with what it feels like today. So you might find that every day your body feels a little bit different. So some mornings it might want to do things that are a little bit more energetic, and some mornings it might really not want to, and it might want to be just nice and still and gentle. So really listening to what your body needs today and just working to your own abilities. So if you are a beginner, if you've never done yoga before, then welcome. I will be offering all kinds of modifications and levels for everyone. So if you do have any injuries as well, then just working to your body. If it hurts, if there's any pain, then stop, come out of the pose. If it's mildly uncomfortable, then try and work with the breath a little bit just to find some comfort within the pose. So we're going to start today in a comfortable seated position. So as I say, this position might be nice if there's any problems with the knees, or maybe coming in to either a cross-legged position or just taking one foot in front of the other. If it's comfortable, maybe even taking a half lotus position, whatever you need. If you do have a cushion or you want to elevate the hips, then just placing it under the seat bones now. And then just making any movements that you need. We are going to sit still for a couple of minutes, so making sure you're comfortable so we can find some stillness within those couple of minutes. So either placing the hands, palms down on the knees, palms up, or if it's more comfortable, just to place the hands in the lap, then just taking that position. We're just going to close the eyes off here. So sitting up nice and straight, nice and tall. So really think about a nice long line of energy travelling through the spine out of the top of the head, and just closing the eyes off here if you haven't done already. And just before we start, just taking a moment just to check in with the body. As I said, sometimes we notice different aches, pains, tensions in different areas of body. So just taking a scan just to check in with yourself, see how you're feeling this morning. Just moving on, not giving any attachment to those feelings, just moving on gently. And then when you've taken that scan, just bringing the attention to the breath. So we're going to practice with a nasal breath today, so we're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So just taking a natural breath, so not forcing, not pushing. Noticing as well in these times of stillness that thoughts might pop into the head. Maybe something you're doing later, maybe something you did yesterday. Just trying to move on. Those thoughts have no meaning at the moment, so just trying to bring the attention to the breath. Anytime you feel those thoughts pulling you away, come back to the breath. Noticing as well if the jaw's tense, if the teeth are clenched, and just softening and relaxing. Take one more breath here. And then bring the hands together, palms pressed together at the heart center. Keeping the eyes closed, we're going to inhale, we're going to take the hands straight up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, we're going to float the hands, palms down, either sides of us towards the floor. Inhale, float the hands back up towards the ceiling, palms facing up this time. Exhale, bring the hands back towards the heart center. Taking that again, so inhale the hands up. Exhale, float them down, palms down. Inhale, float the hands back up, palms facing up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do this one more time. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, float them down. Inhale, float them back up. Exhale, hands to heart. Just blinking the eyes open here. As we inhale the hands up, this time we exhale, we float the right hand down just outside of the right hip. We're gently taking a bend over with the left hand, being careful that the left hip doesn't lift, so we don't want to come up. We just want to press that left hip down and then just taking it gently over to the other side. So nice flowing, gentle movements, reaching to the right, just taking it as far as you can. And taking it back to the other side, right hand down, left hand lifts up. One more time, taking it over to the other side, just nice gentle movements in the body. This time, take the right hand down, reach the left hand up. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, just gently walk the fingers out slightly, maybe coming down onto the forearm, deepening that stretch. If it's enough for you to stay here, just stay here and see if you can look up towards the hand. So just deepening that stretch a little bit. Staying here for one more breath. Inhale. Exhale, gently coming over to the left. So again, place the left hand down, reach the right hand up. If it's enough here, staying here. Or just gently walking the hands out on the left hand, maybe coming down onto the forearm. Or just staying here if that's enough. Again, seeing if you can look up towards the right hand. If it's too much on the neck, then just look gently down towards the left hand, just softening the gaze. Inhale, coming back up to center. So we're just going to take a gentle twist through the body here. So we reach both hands up towards the ceiling on an inhale. As we exhale, we take the right hand behind the body. We take the left hand down to the outside of the right knee. And we're just gently twisting over the right shoulder. As you take in each inhale, really lengthen through the spine. As you then exhale, just gently twist, seeing if you can take the gaze over the right shoulder. So we're still sitting up nice and tall. So as we inhale, we create length, we create space in the body. And as we exhale, we gently twist into that space that we've created. So just take one more breath here for me. Inhale. And exhale. As you come back to center on an inhale, float the hands up. As you exhale, take the twist the other way. So this time the left hand comes behind the body, right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. So take an inhale to prepare, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, gently twist over the left shoulder this time. So still sitting up nice and tall, feeling that twist all throughout the chest and the lower back. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Just take one more breath here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. On an inhale, come back to center, reaching the hands up. Exhale, release. So from this seated position, we're just going to walk the hands forwards. So just taking them as far as you can. We still want the hips and the seat bones to be grounded down and just come up onto the fingertips. So imagine that you're making a tent with the fingertips. so the arms are nice and active, and then just draw the navel back into the spine and round into the upper body. So really rounding the shoulders, and then just release the head and neck, relaxing the shoulders. You should feel a nice stretch, a nice opening in the upper back and shoulders. And then keeping the hips nice and still, we're just going to walk the hands gently over to the right hand side. So this time you're feeling a stretch, a nice lateral stretch all the way down this left hand side. If you want to deepen the stretch, maybe just moving that left hand a little bit in front of the right. If not, just staying, just softening. And then gently walking the hands over to the left hand side. Really lengthening into the right hand side of the body. Again, just don't force or push anything. This is still really nice and gentle, just to wake the body up. Come back to centre. And walk the hands back in. We're coming over onto hands and knees, so into a tabletop position now. So, hands are about shoulder width apart. So we're trying to stack the shoulders, the elbows, and the wrists in one long line, spreading the fingers nice and wide, so you're really grounding into the hands. Stacking the hips over the knees, we're taking the knees about hip width apart with the tops of the feet pressing down towards the mat. And then just taking the gaze in between the hands, engage the core, so navel's coming back to spine, and soften. So what we don't want here is hyperextension in the back, and we don't want to be round. We want a nice flat and neutral spine. Think about one line of energy again from the crown of the head all the way down to the tailbone. We're going to start to mobilise into the lower back now, so any stiffness, any tension, hopefully starting to work into this lower back area. Just taking a few rounds of our cat and cow. So as you inhale, we drop the belly down towards the floor, we lift the tailbone and lift the chin. Then as we exhale, we'll reverse the movement, rounding into the spine. So tuck the chin into the chest this time, press into the hands. Again, inhale, drop the belly, lengthen the chest. Try not to bunch the shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, round. Draw the navel into the spine, really feel an opening in the tops of the shoulders. Inhale. Lift the chest, really lift the tailbone. This feels so good on the lower back. Exhale, round. Think about tucking that tailbone right under. We'll just do one more here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Just holding here for a moment. So breathing normally here, pressing into the hands, really stretching across the top of the upper back and the shoulders. Exhale, release, coming back to centre. From here, we're going to take the right leg straight out behind. So really engaging the core, starting to get into balance a little bit more. If this is enough for you, staying here. If you want to just add a bit more on, reaching the left hand forwards. So really lengthening and stretching down both sides of the body. Reach the hand forward, reach the arm back. If it's too much, then just gently come out of the pose and release. Remember, just to listen to your body. If it's too much at any time, you can always come down into a child's pose and rest, just taking whatever you need. I'm just going to do the same on the other side. So taking the left leg back this time. So try not to take it too high, because then we put tension and tightness in the back. So we just want it about hip height. Again, if this is enough for you, staying here. If you want to add a little bit more, stretching that right hand forward. So we're really working into the core and the back here. We reach the right hand forward, reach the left foot back. Inhale. Exhale, release. Coming into our puppy pose now. So keeping the hips stacked above the knees. We're just going to walk the hands a little bit further forwards and start to take the chest and the chin down towards the floor. Again, really working into the shoulders and the lower back. Think about melting the heart down. Really working into the lower back. If that feels good, staying here. If you want to deepen the stretch again, you can come up onto the fingertips again and just take a little bit of a deeper stretch. Maybe just rocking the hips from side to side as well. This can sometimes feel really good again to release any tension in the lower back. Again, just working with your body, listening to what it needs today. And then coming back up into a kneeling position. If that's not good for the legs or the knees, then just coming into a seated position. We're going to clasp the hands here, take them forwards, tuck the chin down into the chest, draw the navel back into the spine again, really stretching out the backs of the shoulders, so this can feel really good after a night in bed. Maybe you've slept funny and the neck and the head are a little bit sore again. Maybe you're spending extra time sitting in a new chair or at a new desk. You just need to work into those shoulders. Reversing again, so clasp the hands at the base of the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lifting the chin. So we're taking a tiny little bend in that lower back. Send the hands down towards the floor, lift the chin. Again, if it's painful, maybe just coming out of the pose slightly. If you want to take a bit more here, then you can take the hands over to the right hand side. Stretching into the hips or over to the left hand side. Again, this is just a really nice stretch into the hips, into the lower back, and then release. Just roll the shoulders. Take a couple of rolls back. And then just a couple of rolls forward, releasing. So we're going to make our way now into our downward facing dog. So starting in our tabletop position as we were before. So hands are shoulder width apart, fingers are spread nice and wide. Tuck the toes under here, and this time we're going to start by sending the seat back towards the heels. Keeping the hands where they are, we're going to start to straighten out the legs and take the gaze through the ankles or the knees. Start off by just pedaling gently here. So bending one knee and then another. We're trying to lengthen the spine, sending the hips high. So just making any movements that feel good in the body. Maybe nodding the head yes, shaking the head no. Releasing any tension here. Pausing wherever you need to. Again, just listening to your body. Maybe it feels good to take a double knee bend and really lengthen into the spine, pressing into the hands. And then just finding some stillness wherever you are. So if the heels reach the floor and the hips are nice and high, that's fantastic. If they don't, if the knees bent and the heels are lifted, then that's good too. Just finding your downward dog, finding that stillness. And we're going to take 2 breaths here. So we take an inhale together. Exhale. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. From here, take a soft bend in the knees and just slowly walk the hands back towards the feet. So the feet are about hip width apart. We're going to take our ragdoll now, so catching hold of either elbows and just gently swaying from side to side. So take as much of a bend in the knees as you need to try and get the chest down towards the thighs. If we're here, that's fine. If the hamstrings are a bit more open, then you can take a bit more of a straight leg. Just release and relax. So let the upper body completely hang heavy. And just taking any movements that feel good here. Side to side, maybe shifting the weight backwards and forwards in the toes. The more weight you put forward into the toes, the higher the hips go, the greater stretch we find in the hamstrings. So just working with whatever your body needs this morning. Just take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Release the elbows, keeping the chin tucked. We're going to slowly roll up to standing. Gently, slowly rolling up. Giving the shoulders a big roll, sending them back down. So just bringing here the big toes to touch. Taking a slight gap in the heels, really starting to ground into the feet. So what I want you to do here is lift all 10 toes up from the floor, spread them nice and wide, and then just press them back down into the floor. Really finding a nice solid grounding with the feet. From here, imagine that you're lifting up through the inner arches of your feet. As you do that, the knees lift, the thighs engage, And then tucking the tailbone under. So again, trying not to either stick that bottom out or bring the hips forward. So really engaging the core, standing tall. We're going to give the shoulders a big roll. And then place the hands by the sides with the palms facing forwards. Just close the eyes off here for a moment. So this is our Tadasana, or our mountain pose. This is a pose that's strong, that's tall, yet still soft and gentle, so not holding those tensions and tightnesses. Just keeping the eyes closed for a moment, we'll take a deep breath together. So we inhale, exhale, release the shoulders if you've noticed they've crept up towards the ears. Blink the eyes open. This time as we take an inhale, we're going to take the hands straight up overhead, taking the gaze up towards the thumbs. Bring the palms to join here at the top. As we exhale, we're going to hinge from the hips. We're going to dive forward, coming into a deep forward fold. Soften the knees as much as you need to again, to take the hands down towards the mat. Tuck the chin under, lengthen the neck. From here, inhale, either take the hands to the shins or the thighs and have a nice flat back. So coming into a half forward fold, stretch into the hamstrings. And then exhale, folding back down again. Deep forward fold, tuck the chin into the chest. And then with an inhale, reverse swan dive, so flowing all the way back up to the ceiling, palms together, hands back down to heart center. We'll take that again, so inhale, the hands up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, chest comes down, diving forwards, deep forward fold. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Tuck the chin, lengthen the spine. Inhale, lift the chest up, take the hands to the shins or the thighs, getting that nice flat back, half forward fold. As you exhale, fold, deepen the stretch, forward fold. Inhale, press into the feet, soften the knees, sweep the hands up, palms together. Exhale, bring the hands down to the heart center. We're going to do that one more time. So inhale, the hands up. Exhale, deep forward fold. Soften those knees as much as you need to. Lengthen the neck. Inhale, hands to shins or thighs, half forward fold. Exhale, folding forwards. Tuck the chin into the chest. This time we're going to walk the hands all the way to the front of the mat. We're going to drop the hips down, bend at the knees and lower all the way down on to your front. So just finding that position so the feet are just separated slightly. The tops of the feet are pressed down into the mat. We're just going to take the hands underneath the shoulders and take a couple of rounds of our baby cobra. So again, concentrating on this lower back area. As we inhale, we're just going to start to peel the chest away from the floor, relaxing the shoulders, feeling that little back bend here. Try not to put too much weight on the hands. Exhale, release. We're starting to strengthen that back and that core. Same again, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. This time as we lift, we're going to hover those hands off the floor. Just gently squeeze the shoulder blades together. You might feel the glutes engage at this time. That's good. Maybe the knees lift slightly. The tops of the feet are still pressed down into the floor. Exhale, release. Just bring the hands down by the sides. Take a cheek down to the mat. Just rock the hips gently from side to side. Just releasing that lower back. From here, we're just going to come into our Sphinx pose. So we're taking the hands into a number 11 shape. We're stacking the shoulders on top of the wrists, so they're in a nice line here. Again, just taking that bend in the back. If it's too much for the back, then coming out of the pose. If you're still here with me, then trying not to bunch up and hunch up into the shoulders, but trying to relax and release the shoulders. If this pose is good for you and you want to again deepen it, Then starting to press into the hands and lift the elbows up off the floor. If you feel any pain in the lower back, then coming back out of this pose. This pose isn't particularly comfortable for my lower back, so my preference is just to stay here and just make it a bit softer and a bit more restorative. But if you do want that extra, then just straightening into the arms. We're just going to take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, release. Tip the toes here, press up through the hands, coming back onto the knees, crossing over at the feet, and then coming into a seated position. So from here, we're just going to bend the knees. We're going to make our way down onto our backs. We're just going to do it by bending the knees, crossing the hands over to the chest, and I want you to slowly lower down. So you're really engaging and using the core. So we're going to tuck the chin down into the chest, round into the shoulders, and slowly as you can, lower down onto the floor. So keep breathing, don't hold the breath, and just try and make this movement nice and slow, nice and relaxed. And then when you get down onto the floor, just bring the knees into the chest, hug them into the chest, and just rock gently from side to side. So pressing the whole of the lower back down into the mat. Think about you trying to leave a print of the spine on the mat. So really massaging any parts of the back here. This feels so good. From here, we're going to take the left foot straight out. So trying to keep the left hip on the floor here, keeping the right knee lifted. You're going to straighten that right leg out. Then you're either going to catch hold of the calf, the ankle, or you're going to bend the knee so you can take the first two fingers and the thumb around the big toe, or take the hand to the outer edge of the right foot. Bend the knee, so a really nice deep bend in the knee, and imagine that you're trying to get the right knee down into the right armpit. So we start to open up the right hip, stretch into the right hamstring, but still keeping that left hip on the floor. Maybe take the hand to the left hip just to check that it's still on the floor, and then really guide that right knee in towards that right armpit. So this is our half happy baby pose. It's a really nice hip opening and hamstring stretching pose. This is really nice if you are finding that you've got tight hips at the moment. This could be a really nice way to release them. If it's too much, then just easing out of the pose. Again, you can take the hand around the calf and just gently guide it in. It doesn't need to be that full. So just take one more breath. And release that right leg down. This time picking up the left one. So start by hugging the left knee into the chest. Again, if this is enough for you, then just staying here. If you wish, then either catching hold of the calf, the ankle, the left big toe, or the outside of the left foot with that left hand, and just starting to guide the left knee in towards the left armpit. So really feeling that release in the hip, in the hamstring. So if this does feel uncomfortable, if it's not painful but it feels uncomfortable, just try and use the breath to stay here in this pose. We find that the longer we stay in these poses and use the breath to keep us here, to keep us present, then we can find that comfort in the discomfort. So breathing into those areas of tightness and tension. Slowly finding that release. Slowly finding that relax. Again, if you're here, then just guiding that knee a little bit closer into the chest. You're still finding that release in the hamstring and the hip. Whatever your body needs. Take one more breath. And release the left foot down this time. Bending in to both knees this time, placing the feet flat on the mat, just heel-toeing the feet just wider than hip width or to the edge of the mat if you are on a mat. Let the knees knock in and just windscreen wiping the legs gently from side to side. So just releasing any last bits of tightness and tension in those hips. Again, this flow is perfect for in the morning, but equally if you have been sat down for a number of hours, then you can practice some of these moves, or even all of this after that, just to release. Then just let the knees knock over to the right hand side. Take the arms by the sides or straight out if you've got room, and then just take the head and neck over to the left. Maybe closing off the eyes if that feels good, and just bringing the attention back to the breath. So we're really starting to ground and unwind at this point. Take the legs, the knees over to the left, this time the gaze over to the right. So feeling a really nice stretch in the outer right hip, in the right hand side of the body. Try and keep both shoulders flat on the floor at this point. Take one more breath here. And come back to centre, bringing those knees into the chest again, rocking as you need to. This time bringing the nose up towards the knees, hugging everything in, giving yourself a big hug. And then releasing, stretching out, taking a full body stretch. So the legs come down, the arms go up overhead, making any movements and adjustments that you need to before you make your way down into your final Shavasana. So taking the feet about hip width apart, just let the knees and the feet knock out. So just flop, completely relax. Hands by the sides with the palms facing up. And just close the eyes off here. So this is our Shavasana, or our corpse pose. This is the time during a yoga practice where the body downloads all of the physical, all of the movement that we've just done, and the body reaps the benefits during this stillness. So I invite you just to take a couple of minutes just to completely relax. There is nothing to do apart from surrender and relax. So feel the body getting heavy. Feel the whole body against the floor. And then just bring the attention back to the breath. Again, noticing that the mind might start to wander or race at this point, and just gently letting go of those thoughts and just concentrating on the breath. And just gently and slowly bringing some movement back into the fingers and toes. Keeping the eyes closed, nothing forced. Taking the arms above the head, taking a full body stretch. Just like you're waking up on a new day. And then still with the eyes closed, bring the knees into the chest. Just roll over onto the right hand side. Just take a moment for yourself here, before bringing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. So maybe just taking that seated position that we started the practice with this morning. Take the hands into heart center with the palms together again. Just take the forehead down towards the hands. Just take a moment before you carry on with your day just to thank yourself for taking this time out for yourself this morning, for listening to your body, and just for moving without any ego and without any force. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for letting me guide you through that practice. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Namaste.